So today, we're just going to take a quick look here. We're going to try drawing a little character. Now there's three things to think about here. Number one, I'm not an artist. Number two, this isn't an art channel. And number three, well, I'll think of the third thing as I go along. But we're going to need some utensils here. That's what we're going to start with. We got our lovely little pencil here from the Goethe Institute. We have a rubber, and we have a little sharpener in case our pencil gets dull. I'm going to add something here. This ugly pen. So that we can do very solid lines at the end. So this is going to be how I draw. It's not professional, and it's probably not going to look good, but that's up to personal opinion. We're going to be using this rubber a lot. So let's just do... we're just going to do a quick little character. I know on the Synfig Studio tutorial that I did, there were a lot of people interested in that little character that I made. Why? I don't know, but it's certainly nice. We're going to start with something very simple. We're just going to start with a circle, and that's what I start all of my little characters off with. I like to try and map out a little circle here. I'll try to keep this aligned with the camera. As a result, we're going to have a little bit of skewness in this circle. Normally what I would do is I would rotate the paper around as I draw. You're not likely to pick this up very well because I'm doing extremely light lines here. Always go light first. Save your heavy pencil strokes for the end. Now, another thing that some people will do is they will stack up paper. Instead of having just one sheet of paper here, they'll have like 3 or 4 underneath of it so that you can vary your pressure a little bit more. I'm not doing that here. We're just going to do... Right, here's our little circle. This is going to be a primary base for the head. Now, the way that we're going to draw this is going to be dead on. We're going to be looking straight into the face. So from the top, we're going to note that the head's basically going to go down like this. We're going to split this up into thirds, more or less. As close to thirds as we can figure. And then down here, we're going to go third. We're going to go another third lower. This is just basically getting the shape of the skull. Well, actually, we're not going to do such exaggerated cheekbones on this character. I was thinking exaggerated cheekbones for some reason, but I changed my mind. So there we've got a basic shape for the head. Very simple, very basic. Nothing to sneeze at just yet. We can note that another little bit down, we're going to have the shoulders. So let's put in the shoulder line here. This character's going to have shoulders kind of like this. We can expect them to have arms coming off of those shoulders. A little bit further down still, this is going to be a male character, so we don't need to do the hips quite so wide. Now, in terms of the proportions, we're going to look at this head. That's one. That's about a head height. That's also about a head height. So basically the bottom of the hips is going to be close to 2 head heights. This is a reasonably short character. They're not excessively tall or lanky, but something to keep in mind there. So this circle is going to indicate where the hips are. Again, we're looking straight down the character. Their spine will be coming down here. As for the shoulders and the main part of the body, this is going to be a rather muscular character, but we can draw in the rib cage here. What might be useful is to look up some skeletal diagrams of the human body to get basically an idea of what's going on underneath the skin. Right here is where you're going to have, basically, you're going to have bones. Up here you're going to have more or less, let's see if we can just draw that in real quickly. We'll have kind of a shoulder, maybe your left and right shoulders. Down here is where you're going to have your sternum. Right up in the middle here, and then off to the side you're going to have your ribs coming off of that. And then just down here you're going to have that little gap for where the ribs are. You're going to have that little gap from the rib cage. All of your internal organs are basically up in this particular area in here, And then down here you have the hip bones, which are, again, interesting to draw. We can draw them if we want. In there. Got the hip bones, and that would connect to your legs, which would come down, probably angle in a little bit, and go down that way. We're not going to go so far as to draw the legs, but you can draw them if you want to. This character is going to be very simple. I'm going to be drawing this character in an A pose, so there's segment one of the arm. Hold on. You got to get the length of the arms right as well, because we got to imagine this arm, when it's going to be down, their hands should be roughly where the pockets are going to be if they're wearing pants. So they're going to have pockets right about here. So the total length of their arm should be roughly this long. So when we go to do it here, we're going to be splitting it up just a little bit. This arm is going to be split up probably somewhere up here. The second length. This arm, similar story. The same. We're doing an A pose. An A pose is much more flexible. If your character's arms are going to be below their shoulders most of the time, you might do a T pose if you're expecting your character's shoulders to bend upwards above their shoulder. Just a quick thing to note. And then at the end of their arms, draw two of these. And at the end of this arm, we'll do the same thing. And now these two little circles that I've drawn here, those represent the carpal bone. Then you have the metacarpal, which is going to be inside this box somewhere, and then you have the proximal, middle, and distal up here. If their hands are going to be, out like this, then you're also going to have thumbs coming up in here, and you'll have a proximal for the thumb and a distal for the thumb as well. Same with this side, you'll have a proximal for the thumb and a distal. So now, we don't need a lot of this, so I'll just rub it out. Mostly what we need is we just need this to landmark where the important things are on this character. And again, we're doing this lightly so that we can erase it relatively easily. But we have this circle representing mostly the rib cage. On that circle you're going to have, you can represent the shoulder blades kind of like so. If the camera's picking that up, it might be, it might not be. These arms, I've drawn them way too far out, so we'll adjust for that in a moment. That's where the sternum comes into play. You note this is going to kind of come down here, sweep over, and then we have the hips. Circle for the hips that we drew in there, kind of like so. Perhaps the hips are a little wide on this character, but you got to note this is a bone here, so it's going to be a hard surface, and then we'll just wrap it along the outside there. Again, I've drawn the legs in the wrong position as well, so we'll just get rid of those for now. So legs are more likely on this particular character going to wrap in somewhere over here and then go down from here. Again, this is a male character that we're drawing, so that makes sense. Along the middle here, we're going to have probably some kind of belly button around there. From up here, you just got to basically have off the shoulder, down. This is solid. Down. This is again solid until it gets out to here. So now we're starting to get the body of our character in some more. Again, we're going to have the legs. Let's get them over here. This character is going to be wearing pants. This is not going to be one of those YouTube videos. Let's start some of this in. So note that the abs on this character would be somewhere along here. This is where your abdominal muscles would be mostly located. If we were doing a character that wasn't wearing a shirt, then you'd have your abs basically in there, and you could tune that as required. For the most part, what we want to know now is where the length of the hips are. So the hips are right about here. So bear in mind, it's probably where the pants are going to start, where the shirt's going to be meeting in. Up here where the arms are, is this sweeps down from the neck. Sweep down over here, and just over the shoulders. Just over the shoulders. Again, trying to keep that visible for the camera. Where'd my landmarks go? There we go. visible for the camera there. These arms have gone terribly slowly. Never be afraid to erase something. This is why we started off with light lines. Okay, so from here goes. The second segment of that arm's a bit short. I don't like that. I should extend that, probably. I probably should. This character's going to have very stubby arms. It's going to look weird. Here. Over here. And again, with shoulders, the arm. Note that there's an elbow right about here. I just do that with a little tick mark. Yeah, these arms are very stubby. I'm not happy with them, but it is what it is. For now. Wow, this shirt is really itchy. So we've done this. Where the pants would go down. If I was to draw this the rest of the way, this would go down to some kneecaps somewhere, probably around here, and then this would go down to their feet, probably right there. We would draw their shoes or whatever. We're not going to go that far though. Let's again get rid of some of this structure in here. Keep some of it visible so they have an idea of what's going on. Sometimes what it's helpful to do is to try and map a three-dimensional surface to kind of give you an idea of how the contours roll. So right here, you can see how that is in 3 dimensions. Up here, see this is the top of the head, that's going to go like that. Near the bottom of the head is probably going to be a little bit more curved, stuff like that. There goes my pencil. We'll be back in a second. What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to erase these shoulders as well. Don't need them so much anymore. Let's get started with the head. I'm only going to do the bottom portion of the head here, so around where the eyes are, we'll give it a little bit of a divot there. Here, the chin, there. Now in terms of mapping out where stuff is on the face, it's all a matter of personal preference. Some people do a big nose, some people don't. We'll do, yeah, that's a medium-sized nose. The eyes are going to be somewhere probably around here. And we'll probably have a mouth. In terms of the mouth, how crazy are we going to make this person? I don't know. Let's make them a supervillain. Why not? There. A crooked, evil smile. Why not? In addition to that, we may want to choose some kind of hairstyle for them. Let's just make it kind of messy. I don't know. Actually, no. We'll do the hair in a moment. So we've got some of these features down. Let's just get these construction lines a little bit out of the way and get a bit more visible. And here we go. We'll make them kind of squarish eyes, very fish-eyed, I suppose. color that in along the top. Typically it is darker along the top of the eye than the bottom of the eye, so that's what to do. Like a little bit of sparkle in there as well. Sparkle and sunshine. There we go. And let's give them some eyebrows, because what would life be without expression? It would be my life if we forgot the expression. Okay, this smile isn't nearly crooked enough. I don't know. That seems a little stretched. Stretched there. As for the ears, if we're doing ears, those would be somewhere around the same height that the eyes are. Just try and... Well, I'm not used to drawing on that side. Okay. And the last thing we need to really consider here would be the ears. Or not the ears, the hair. What kind of hairstyle we're going to have? We'll do this in bits here. Bring this down. Another one here. Bring that up as such. Another one come down like this. And that'll just kind of tuck in behind. Tuck it behind. As for the hair on top of their head, I don't know. It's all going to be kind of coming from up here. It's kind of a bit messy. No one said his hair was going to be neat. Just doing little brush strokes with the pencil here as we go forward. And here we have just a little friendly little character with a not at all suspicious smile. I can go through with some darker lines here, get that face a little bit more imprinted. Now, we must also note that this character is still naked. This character is still technically naked, so let's put some clothes on him. We'll give him a little collar. Just a little collar up here. It's going to go down like so. I'm a fan of button-down shirts, as you can see. Nice dress shirt. Everybody deserves a nice dress shirt, so let's just kind of... Yeah, this is going to be a button-down shirt, but we're not going to do the buttons just yet. Obviously, there's going to be some wrinkles along the outside of the shirt. And a lot of people kind of ignore that fact that, yes, a dress shirt is going to have wrinkles on it. It's not going to be like a straight down. There's going to be kind of some wrinkles up here. I like to kind of do a secondary sort of set of lines just over here. This will come down like so. That'll be kind of a wrinkle in itself. But yes, this shirt is hanging off of the person's body. Logically, there would be some creasing, wrinkling, etc. You're never going to have a perfect line the first time, but try to make it a perfect line. Collar, that's where the shirt meets up, and we'll have the same thing on this side. We'll have a collar there. Where again the shirt meets up. I've really got to move myself around here rather than moving the paper. Hey! Cut it out, Jude. kind of bring that in around here. Just maybe a bit of a wrinkle on there. In terms of drawing the wrinkles on the shirt, I haven't come up with a very good way of doing it. I just kind of try and find where these wrinkles are that I've drawn here naturally and try and kind of fill them in with a little bit of shadow. Probably not the best way, certainly not the most accurate way, but like I said, I'm no expert on this. I'm not a professional artist or anything to that extent. Now, as for the shirt, it's going to be mostly a slim fit. I think it's going to kind of drape off a little bit as it goes down. And again, right here we've got the belt line. Don't hit below the belt line, people. There's the belt line. This character is wearing a belt. Like so. That's for the legs. Let's clean this up. Don't want their hips to be too accentuated through their pants. Might not be very flattering. Most pants have a zipper. Go up there. Again, we're going to have those pockets that I mentioned earlier. This character is wearing pants that have nice pockets on them. Nice pockets indeed. And as for the pants themselves, most pants have some level of wrinklage on them. That's a rather sizable wrinkle right there. And no real method to this madness. I'm just drawing what I think a wrinkle would look like on a pair of pants. Now where the belt is an interesting story, because where the belt is, we should have some kind of, it's kind of binding up there. So we're just gonna I'm doing very lightly, and it probably isn't showing up on camera, but very lightly doing a couple of little stretch lines into there. And we're going to do the same on the shirt as well. The shirt is being tucked in, so it is going to kind of pull some fabric, pinch in a few locations, if you will, down in there. As for this, you know what would be really nice? I think this would be a good character for it. Let's do the sweater vest. Why not? A nice sweater vest on and above the dress shirt. Maybe it's winter, maybe it's cold outside, and this character just is feeling the chill in the air. They're still wearing their tie, but it's tucked in under a very nice sweater vest, and maybe do like a little pattern on it or something. It's like a little. Bear in mind, we are mapping this to a cylindrical surface. Eyeballing it is not necessarily a great way to do that, but I'm trying. Let's, again, clean this up a little bit with our eraser, or our rubber, as we tend to call it on this side of the pond. There it is. Alright, so we got our insane little preppy boy. Insane little prep school kid. Just a quick little character drawing, I guess. Now for the hands, I guess I didn't really go into that, but you know, you're going to have your skin coming out here. Again, proximal, middle, and distal for the thumb, as is typical for most human thumbs. Let's go up to here. Oh, these hands are going to look very cartoonish if I do it like this. Oh, well, one finger, two fingers, three fingers, four. It's just note that your middle finger is the longest. You all kind of start from the same place on the hand. Wow, this hand looks awful. I could have done way better. Let's try better on this one. There's here a little bit. Doing guidelines for these hands would have significantly helped. Always do guidelines. You know, it's extra work. Definitely worth it. We did guidelines for the rest of this person's body, and then when we got to the hands, we just skipped out. That looks awful. Don't skip out on doing guidelines, ladies and gentlemen. So for the hands, I'm almost better doing separate here, and then just saying, you know, you're going to have the flat palm of your hand here. You're going to have your thumb coming out here. And from the thumb, you're going to have the phalanges of the thumb. You're going to have your proximal of the thumb. You're going to have your distal of the thumb. And so you can kind of trace along there. You know, you're going to have thumb, nail, and around the phalange, you're going to have a little bit of a shading. As for the rest of the phalanges of the thumb, just kind of imagine them along this curve. We're going to go up to probably the same length as the hand. That is a massive thumb, by the way. I shouldn't have drawn that so big. I am failing in hand anatomy right now, aren't I? So let's do the middle finger. Middle finger is going to be the longest. Index finger is going to be a bit shorter. Ring finger is going to be a little shorter. Pinky finger is going to be the shortest. And yeah, so you got your carpal. You got your metacarpals, which are going to be coming down to the carpal. You've got your thumb, proximal and distal of the thumb, which is probably actually just going to look like so. And it goes up, it goes down here, we're going to go up. This really looks awful. I swear I'm a lot better in real life. Who am I kidding? I'm not better than this in real life. This is how I draw hands. I need to work on those. Not good at hands. I don't know. I've been looking at them my whole life. Maybe I should use it as a reference. Anyway, yes, this looks more or less what I want it to look like, I think. So now we've got the pencil markings down. Let's go in with our pen is still alive. Nice dark lines in here. Erasing pen ink. Considerably more difficult than erasing pencil. Which is why we've done our pencil work beforehand and we're just tracing over it with our pen. Again, I'm not using any fancy tools. Where did I get this pen? I don't remember. It's recycled though. This I got at the Goethe Institute. That's in Germany. Nice group of people, by the way. I love what they do. Trying to do this short strokes pen. Because that lighting is awful, by the way. I mentioned that my camera light is just awful to try and work by. This image will be released under the Creative Commons, and I'll post the source files in the description. Probably it'll be a link to an Imgur post or something along those lines. I don't know where else I would post this. Lovely sweater vest. That looks like a very comfortable sweater vest, I must say. And he's going to have that belt on him. Don't make me take off my belt. Oh, come on, this light is awful. Get that light out of my face, man. I didn't do it on this side, but I should. Now, you may be asking yourself, Arlington Matrix, you're drawing this on paper. How on earth are you going to get this into Synfig? And the answer is with a camera. Take a camera, take a quick picture over the top of it. Or even what I'm doing here with the phone. Take a quick picture. And you load that into an image editor and just basically draw lines on top of it. Unless you have a graphics tablet, that's about the best solution I've been able to come up with. Okay, pants are a bit heavier. Fewer wrinkles, but the wrinkles that they have much longer. So you have a sudden wrinkle like that, I suppose. When it comes to drawing clothes, don't worry if it's too wrinkled. Because everybody has wrinkles. There's no escaping that. It is a reality of life. Even I have wrinkles. Again, feel free to use this character. Just make sure that you cite your sources appropriately. Give credit where it is due. That's all I ask. What do we look at here? Draw chin. A little bit of a neck in there somewhere. We've all got a little bit of a neck somewhere. Just don't stick it out where it doesn't belong. As for the face and the skin, you want that to be pretty smooth. Unless he's got a beard. This guy doesn't have a beard, so it doesn't really count. But, yeah, I'm not so sold on that smile. I'll get back to it if I decide on it. The eyes and the nose, I'm more or less happy with those, so we can solidify it in ink as we see fit. put glasses on this guy. How would this guy look with glasses? What do you think? The way I've drawn the eyes makes it very simple to just flip a little, put the glasses on him. I don't know. I don't like it. Looks like I'm not sharpening my pencil anymore. That's nice. Forever sharp. Yeah, this hair is not exactly where I want it to be. It's kind of moving all over the place on me here. It's terrible. Nasty. This guy's got greasy hair. Believe it? I can. What prep school kid is this? Greasy hair. Haircut kid. You might have a little bit of shine at the top here, by the way. Like, this hair is going to be mostly around over the front. And grouping up at the back. You might draw a little bit of shine in there. You know, it's coming forward. If you wanted to do, you could do the rest of it. It's the rest of it is nice and shaded. I'm wearing the flat side of my pencil here. Try and look at that. This is a free pencil, by the way. Literally, if you go there, they will give you a pencil. 10 out of 10, highly recommend this pencil. Goethe Institute. I'll leave a link in the description as well. Just go there, ask them for a pencil, they will give you a pencil. These pencils are excellent for doing artwork. 110%. I cannot recommend these pencils enough for artwork. Look at that, that's beautiful. Right? Just beautiful. Let's get his eyes in there a little better. And hey, if you go there, if you ask for a pencil, link them to this video. Tell them I said hi. Arlington Matrix says hello. I don't think I'm pronouncing the name of their institute correctly. But if I am, I nailed it. Just a little bit darker up both the eyes. Now we could go another step further here. We could do some more shading. Let's say like the sun's coming from this way and then shade this half of it. We could do that. I really want to just kind of work in these wrinkles a little bit better. Because that's, we know that wrinkles are going to be a little bit shady, a little bit wrinkly. Hard to believe, but yes, wrinkles are going to be a bit wrinkly. There's going to be some there, a little bit here. And again, this pattern on his shirt, that's not set in stone, but I think it's a cute shirt. It's a really smart looking kind of shirt. It's just got this little pattern on it. I don't know. I think that really fills out the shirt. It makes it feel like something you would wear around Christmas time, maybe. Yeah, sorry about the hands. I don't know what I was thinking. But here we have our little character. Isn't that lovely? Again, feel free to use this character in your own work. Just give credit where it's due, that's all I ask. I'm Arlington Matrix. Have yourselves a good one. It's going to be how I scan it into the computer. Just see that? I do this, I take a picture, and then I can do all the lines I want. It's simple.